Hello students, today we will continue our topic, that is food and digestion. I am Sakshi Mathur, your science teacher. So let's start the video. The topics which we are going to study in this video are about the digestive system, the good eating habits and preservation of food. How you preserve your food. So let's start. Digestive system. What is the digestive system and where it is present? We need to understand it first. Digestion. The process of breaking down of food into simpler soluble substances is called as digestion. What does digestion means? Whenever we eat food, it is in larger pieces. So what does we do? We break down of food into simpler substances so that it can go in our body and get absorbed by the different parts of the body. Is called as digestion. Food gives us energy to work and play. We have already discussed in our previous video that what is the importance of food. So students, this is the diagram of digestive system. It is present in our body and it looks like this. Now what do we need to understand? We need to understand the parts of the digestive system. So look carefully. First is the mouth. You all can see mouth. Then the second part of the digestive system is food pipe. It is also called as esophagus. What is the second part? Food pipe. You can see that the mouth is connected to the food pipe. The third part is the liver. That is the red portion. Next, stomach. It is the muscular bag where our food goes. Next, the outer part, the outer thick lining is called as the large intestine. Large intestine. The inner part, that is the coiled, the inner part is called as the small intestine. Okay, so the outer one is large intestine and the inner one is small intestine. And the last is the anus. Okay, so these are the parts of the digestive system. The digestive system parts start from the mouth and ends at the anus. So what are the parts of digestive system? Mouth, food pipe, stomach, liver, large intestine, small intestine and anus. Now we will discuss how does the food goes from mouth to the anus. What is the process? Right? So let's start. Process of digestion of food. Digestion starts in our mouth. Yes, we all put the food in our mouth. Now what do? As we keep the food in our mouth, teeth chew the food with the help of saliva. Now we have a new term, that is saliva. What is saliva? It is the liquid which is present in your mouth. Right? You can feel it. It is a liquid present in the mouth. So what does the food do? Teeth chew the food with the help of saliva, and saliva is produced by the glands called as the salivary glands. Okay, and what is the role of the saliva? It changes the starch of the food into sugar. Changes the starch of the food into sugar. Right? Teeth chew the food and then saliva changes the starch of the food into sugar. Right, students? So the process is just started in our mouth only. So these two steps takes place in our mouth, that is the buccal cavity. Next, food goes from the mouth to the food pipe, also called as esophagus. O is silent here. So what does the food do? Now after it breaks down, the teeth breaks the food into smaller pieces, it goes into the food pipe. Okay students, look in the diagram. The food is going in through the food pipe, and through food pipe, where is the food pipe connected? To the stomach. Through food pipe, the food goes into the stomach, which is a muscular bag. Now stomach is made up of muscles. From the mouth, the teeth chew the food first, then the food goes into the pipe, that is called as food pipe, and through the food pipe it goes into the stomach. You can see in the diagram clearly. It is mentioned that the brown part is the food, and you can see how slowly it is going from the food pipe to the stomach. Now what happens when the food reaches the stomach? The food is churned and mixed with the other digestive juices, which break down the proteins into simpler forms. Yes, now you all have learnt about the different types of nutrients which are present in our food. Now what happens in the stomach? The juices which are present in the stomach helps the food to break into smaller parts also. That is, break the proteins into smaller forms. Like this, you can see in the diagram. You can see the liquids, that is, they are the juices, and then the stomach is connected to some coiled tube. Right? After the digestion, the food goes into the small intestine. From the stomach, the food moves to the small intestine. That is the inner intestine, which I had explained you earlier. Small intestine is the long coiled tube. Coil means which is mixed. Okay. Long coiled tube. The liver and pancreas also pour the juices into the small intestine. We have mentioned in the digestive system that liver and pancreas also pour the juices into the small intestine. Basically, all the absorption of food takes place in the small intestine. Okay? The digested food, the food which is good for our body and is digested by our organs, is absorbed by the blood vessels present in the walls of the small intestine. Small intestine absorbs the digested, or you can say the good food. Good food is also called as the digested food, which our body needs. Blood carries the digested food to all parts of the body. Now the food which our body needs is absorbed by which intestine? Small intestine. Now the small intestine will give all the nutrients to the blood, and then our blood will go to different organs and distribute all the nutrients. You can see in the diagram. Where is the small intestine present? The inner part. Okay. The stomach is connected to the small intestine. Right, students? Now, the good food, or you can say the digested food, is absorbed by the small intestine. Now, what will happen to the food which is not digested by our body? Let's discuss that. Where does the food which is not digested by our body goes? The undigested food moves to the large intestine. The undigested food moves to the large intestine. The blood vessels of large intestine absorb the extra water. Yes, we have discussed this point earlier in our video, where we have discussed about water and roughage. So what does it do? It absorbs the extra water. The semi-solid waste is excreted through the anus. The food which we do not need is excreted, that means thrown out of our body through the anus. You can see the diagram. Where is the large intestine present? The outer part. It removes water from the undigested food. Okay? It removes the undigested food through the anus. So this was about the digestive system. You can again go through the diagram and understand the process. Okay, so we will now discuss, that is, the food goes from the mouth, the teeth chew the food, it goes into the food pipe, then into the stomach, then into the small intestine, large intestine, and then anus. Right? Next, good eating habits. Yes, we have discussed about how does the process of digestion takes place, but what should be the eating habits we also need to know. Wash your hands before and after eating your meals. Yes, it is very necessary. You should clean your hands so that no germs can enter in your body. Eat a balanced diet. That means you should eat all the types of nutrients in the adequate amount. You should not always focus on the fast food. You need all the vegetables and milk and proteins like vitamins. You all need in a balanced form. Okay, you should eat a balanced diet. Chew your food properly and eat slowly. Yes, very important. You should eat your food very slowly and chew it properly so that it goes smoothly through the food pipe. Do not overeat. You should not overeat your food. Yes, you can take your food in small intervals, but you should not overeat. Whatever amount of food is required by your stomach, you should eat that much amount of food only. Eat all the 3 major meals at fixed hours, that is breakfast, lunch and dinner. You should eat all the 3 meals. You should not skip the meals. Okay? Rinse your mouth after every meal. Yes, so that all the germs which are present or got stuck in our teeth can be removed. So these are the good eating habits, and I know my students will follow all these good eating habits. Preservation of food. First of all, we need to understand what does the word preservation means. Preservation of food means that how you can protect your food. Right? How you can protect your food from the microbes which are present around the air. Keep the food in refrigerator as the growth of microbes is slow in cold temperature. What should we do? And you have seen your mamas doing it, that they kept the food in the refrigerator, right? Refrigerator is the fridge which we all have in our houses. So we keep the food in the fridge or the refrigerator so that the microbes does not grow, because microbes need hot temperature and refrigerator is cold. So microbes will not grow in the refrigerators. The first point is keeping the food in the refrigerator. Second is the removal of water from the food to make it dry, because microbes do not grow in dry food. Yes, you should remove the amount of water and keep your vegetable dry so that food does not get affected by the microbes. The process of removing water is called as dehydration. What it is called? Dehydration. Whenever we remove water from the food, it is called as dehydration. Next is the sealed food bottles and cans after killing the germs. Yes, you should cover your food with some cover so that the germs cannot enter. Next is the salt and oil is used in the pickles. Pickles are actually made for a complete year, right? So we need extra preservation for that. So what should we add in the pickles? Pickles need salt and oil. So salt and oil will protect the pickle from the germs attraction. For jam, we need to add sugar. So sugar will preserve the jam. So this was the preservation of food. Thank you and have a nice day.